بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق أجمعين، سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن سار على نهجه واتبع سنته إلى يوم الدين. All praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of the universe, and peace and blessings be upon his Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, his companion, his household, and all Muslims to the day of judgment. Brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I, Karim Adli from the nilecenter, welcome you all in our second session in Tajweed intensive classes. I hope, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by the grace of God, this course will be useful for you, inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all Muslims all over the world to be safe. Today, we are going to talk about the articulation point, which is extremely important for the people who are learning Quran. The importance of this lesson comes from the pronunciation mistakes the people are making, which we have talked about it yesterday. We try with many students to teach them how to pronounce the letters by saying it, and they are repeating after us, but still they cannot pronounce the letter properly. That comes from they don't even know where the letter emerged from, where the sound emerged from. So today, inshallah, we are talking about the articulation point. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, the best amongst you is the one who learns the Quran and teaches it. Articulation point, in Arabic language, we call it makharij al-huruf. Makharij al-huruf or makharij al-aswat. So makharij al-huruf, makharij al-aswat, the articulation point, the point that being used to emerge or make the sounds. Okay, mainly we have 5 places where we emerge the sound from. 5 places. The makharij of tajweed already in total 17. Like in a specific there are 17 articulation points. But I gathered them. We gathered them in 5 main areas that we are going to introduce it to you, inshallah, step by step. And inshallah, by the end of this session, as I'm telling, you will be getting the knowledge of the articulation points. We have 5 main areas. We have 5 main areas that we use when we make the sounds. The first place is the throat. The throat, the halq. In Arabic language, al-halq. The second one, as you can see on the screen, the tongue, then 2 lips, and then the empty space in throat and oral cavity, which we call it al-jawf in Arabic language, and finally the nasal cavity, which we don't make any letters from there, but only the sound of ghunna, which we are going to know just a little bit later, inshallah. So let me quickly say to them again in Arabic language and English. The first makhraj we are going to learn is the throat, which is al-halq, al-halq. The second makhraj is the tongue. In Arabic we say al-lisan. The third one is the 2 lips, which we say in Arabic language ash-shafatan. And the fourth one is the empty space in the throat and oral cavity, which we call it al-jawf. And finally, we have the nasal cavity, which we use it to make the sound of ghunna. Ghunna sound, this sound, and you are gonna know it later. We have 6 letters that emerge from the throat. Hamzun, ha, aynun, ha, ghaynun, and kha. We have 18 letters that emerge from the tongue, which you can see on the screen. The ta, the tha, jim, dal, dhal, ra, zay, sin, shin, sad, dad, ta, dha, qaf, kaf, lam, noon, and ya. And we will move to the shafatain, inshallah. Shafatan, the two lips, we have 4 letters emerge from there. The ba, mim, waw, and fa. And afterward, we will be doing the empty space, al-huruf al-jawf, which is the alif, waw, ya, but not any alif, not any waw, not any ya, the only alif, waw, ya, ul-mad. What does that mean? Inshallah, after a little bit, we will get to know that. And finally, we have al-khayshum, the nasal cavity, which the nasal sound comes from there. Okay, we will take them step by step. And I have some photos for you, pictures for you that shows you how this sounds emerge. First of all, حروف الحلق. حروف الحلق, throat letters. The throat letters comes from 3 main points of the halq, of the throat, okay? The first area is أقصى الحلق. أقصى الحلق. As you can see on the right side, the deepest part. Why you call it the deepest part? Because it is the deepest from the 2 lips. So it is the deepest from the 2 lips. So we are calling it أقصى الحلق. أقصى الحلق. From أقصى الحلق, from the deepest part of the halq, of the throat, 2 letters emerge. The first one is Hamza, Hamza, and the second one is Ha. So we have 2 letters that emerge from the deepest part of the throat, which is the Hamza, and Ha. We notice something, maybe you don't notice it, but we have 2 vocal cords. When we pronounce the Hamza, the 2 vocal cords still, they are open when we pronounce the Hamza. So for example, when we, the Hamza, when the Ha follows any other letters, let's say, we notice that the 2 vocal cords inside, okay, are a little bit open. That gives us a space of air to go out. So the deepest part, Ha, if we are trying to pronounce the Ha, we will find that the 2 vocal cords are a little bit open, then the air goes out. So repeat after me. Okay, we can still see or notice that some air is going out. But with the Hamza letter, the vocal cords are totally closed, where there is no air at all goes out. So if we try to pronounce Hamza, it will be If you put your fingers here, you will feel a strong vibration that shows us that the letter emerges from here. So the 2 vocal cords are totally closed. The 2 vocal cords a bit open that the air goes out with. Okay, so we have This comes from the deepest part of the throat. The middle part of the throat, 2 letters emerging from there, Ain and Ha. Ain and Ha. By the way, the halq letter, we find many students who face some difficulties pronouncing the halq letter. So I would recommend that for everyone to pay attention, because many people have problems pronouncing these letters, especially Ha and Ain. Ha and Ain. Put the Hamza before. Repeat after me. This is the letter Ha. When we move to the letter Ain, the letter Ha, the letter Ain, both are coming from the middle part of the throat. So we now talk about the Hamza and Ha that comes from the deepest part of the throat, and then we move to Ain and Ha that comes from the middle part of the throat. An example of Ha, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. At the beginning of Surah Al-Fatiha, Alhamdulillah, some people by mistake, they are pronouncing ha instead of ha. Ha comes from here, ha comes from here. That takes us a little bit of effort to pronounce these letters. Why? Because in some languages, the letter ha is not exist. So you have to train the muscles. Since you are not using them at all, you have to train your muscles by repeating and repeating and repeating until this muscle becomes soft, and then you can pronounce this letter. So ha, ah, 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 ah. And finally, we have kha and ghain. Kha and ghain. The kha and ghain coming from the top part, the closest part of the throat. Closest to what? To the two lips, shafatain. So the top part of the throat, or what we call it, adna al-halq. In Arabic language, we call it adna al-halq. This one, the bottom one is aqsa al-halq, the nearest part. The middle one is wasatul halq, and this one which we are talking about now is adna al-halq. So we have two letters that emerge from adna al-halq, which is kha, 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 that you can see on the right side, kha, 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 okay, like khalidina fiha, khalidina fiha, kha, and the letter غين وهو الغفور الرحيم غا غا غا. So now we have taken 6 letters out of the alphabet in Arabic language, so which is Hamza and Ha that emerge from the deepest part of the throat, Aqsa al-Halq, Ayn and Ha that emerge from the middle part of the throat, and we have Ghain and Kha that emerge from the top part or the nearest part of the throat. We have 6 letters now. I am moving from down to up. A, ha, a, ha. Middle, ha, 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 ayn, 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 kha, 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 ghain, ghain, ghain. Okay. Before we start the tongue, I just want to tell you that we are dividing the tongue into 4 places. Okay. We divided the halq, the throat, into 3 places. Now we are dividing the tongue into 4 places. The first one is aqsa al-lisan. Aqsa al-lisan, the deepest part of the tongue. Aqsa al-lisan. If you know Arabic language, you can read the one on the right side, just in there. Aqsa al-lisan, the deepest part of the tongue. Second is wasatul lisan. Wasatul lisan. Wasatul lisan is the middle part of the tongue. And we have then tarful lisan. Tarful lisan, the tip of the tongue. So this is 3, and then we have the edge of the tongue, which is hafatul lisan. Hafatul lisan. So we are talking about lisan mainly in 4 parts. First one, aqsa lisan. Second one, wasatil lisan. Third one, taraful lisan. And the 4th one is the edge of the hafatul lisan of the tongue. The letters you can see on the screen, and we have read them earlier, that emerge or goes out from the tongue. The letters on the left side, I will give you just a couple of seconds, then you can read them. We will take them step by step, and I'm gonna tell you which letters emerge from the aqsa lisan, which are emerging from the wasatul lisan, which are emerging from taraful lisan, and finally which letters emerge from the edge of the tongue, which is hafatul lisan. First, we are talking about the deepest part of the tongue, which we call it aqsa lisan. Aqsa lisan. From there, we have the letter qaf and the letter kaf. Okay. On the right side, on the picture, if you can see, we have the makhraj of the letter qaf. Okay, what is the makhraj of the letter qaf? The makhraj of the letter qaf is like that: the deepest part of the tongue with what lies opposite of the roof, the soft palate. Okay, the soft one. Okay, I'm not talking about the bones, I'm talking about the soft ones now. So listen to me. Aqqa, aqqa. Imagine when we try to precede the letter qaf, there is a pressure goes from inside at the end of our tongue. So aqqa, 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 aqqa. That forces the tongue, the deepest part of the tongue, to goes up and touch the palate. Goes up, touch the palate, and that makes the sound of qaf. Repeat after me. Qaf. I will put the hamza just before the letter that makes it more clear to be pronounced. Aq, aq, aq. Okay, the letter qaf comes from the deepest part with what lies opposite of roof. Okay, the soft palate. Okay, now I am moving to the kaf. Kaf, again from the same makhraj, from the same place. Okay. The deepest part of the tongue with what lies opposite of the roof, but the hard palate. Okay. After this soft palate, there is a hard palate. Okay, which some bones are there. Okay, repeat with me. Ak, 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 ak. If you can look at the picture with me now, the one on the right side is the makhraj of qaf. Aqqa. Can you see this blue area? Blue area is the pressure that the tongue makes to initiate or to make this sound. Aqqa, aqqa, aqqa. And you will get to know later on that qaf is one of the qalqala letter. We shake it when we pronounce it, but this is not our topic today. So aqqa, aqqa, aqqa. This is the qaf, kaf, ak. Ak, ak, aqqa, ak, aqqa, ak. I am keeping repeating myself for you to adjust, to understand it, and it should be clear for you, inshallah. So qaf, kaf, they are coming almost from the same place. Little bit differences are there, but aqqa, ak. We will get to know later on also that the qaf is one of the heavy letters, okay? And the kaf is a soft letter. So aqqa, ak. This is the shape of the tongue with the qaf on the right side. On the left side, the shape of the kaf when we pronounce it. Ak, aqqa, ak, aqqa. Okay? So now we're talking about the deepest part of the letter. Only two letters of the tongue, only two letters emerge from there, which is qaf and kaf. We finished the deepest part of the tongue. Now we are talking about the middle part of the tongue, which is wasatul lisan. Wasatul lisan. How many letters emerge? As you can see on the screen, we have 3 letters emerge from the middle part of the tongue, which is ja, sha, ya. Ja, sha, ya. Later on, I will tell you that there is another type of ya, but not this one called ya ul mad. What does that mean? Later on, I will tell you. A specific ya doesn't come from here, but any other ya, like normal ya, comes from the middle part of the tongue, which is wasatul lisan. Okay, if you look on the at the picture, the first one on the right side is the makhraj of jim. See the pressure of the jim. The middle part of the tongue touches the roof like very clearly, as you can see in the picture here. Okay, so this is the makhraj of ja, aj, 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 aj. Okay, very strong. And then we have sheen, and we can notice that there is a little bit space between the tongue and the roof. Okay, that doesn't make the sheen very strong letter. That makes the jim strong letter, but doesn't make the sheen. So ash. I don't think anyone has a problem with these letters, especially sheen, ash, ash, ash. Actually, what happens, this middle part of the tongue, when we try to pronounce the jim, the sheen goes up, makes the pressure, and then the sound emerge. Okay, so the first one is aj, second one is ash, the third one is ay. So aj, ash, and ay. Aj, ash, ay. Those are the three letters that emerge from the middle part of the tongue with what lies opposite of the roof. Okay, I don't think we need to spend more time with the jim, sheen, yeah, because it is almost for everyone is easy letters, and we don't need to spend some more time with that. Most normally we should start with the tip. I will take the tip, then I will go back. The tip of the tongue, three letters emerge from there. The one is ta, at, at, and the one is dal, ad, ad, and the third one is ta, at. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, ta, dal, ta, these letters are pronounced from the top side of the tip, at, top side of the tip with the tongue, of the tongue and the gum line root of the two front top incisors. At, 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 at. So what we do, we use the tip of the tongue, okay? The top side of the tip of the tongue, at, and the gum line. We have a gum line here, root of the two front incisors. We have one line just behind the two top front incisors called the gum line. The tip of the tongue touches this gum line and make these three sounds. Ta, ta, and if you look at the pictures on the right side, ta again is a heavy letter, exactly like qa. So when we try to make the sound ta, see the bottom part of the tongue goes up again, okay, and make this sound heavy in our mouth. So, but mainly that this letter emerge from the tip of the tongue with the line, the gum line above. So repeat with me, at. Repeat after me, sorry. At, at. See, ta is a heavy letter. When we pronounce it, our mouth becomes heavy and full of air. That makes the pressure, the heaviness. At, at, at. Okay? Ad, ad. Dal and ta are almost similar. They're very close to each other. At. So, at, at. Repeat with me. Repeat after me. At, ad, at, ad, at. This is very important. So I am asking every one of you to pay attention to this. This is extremely important. Okay, we are talking about one of the most controversial letter in Arabic language. Okay, so many people are making mistakes while pronouncing these letters. I will give you some examples. We are talking about the letter da, ad. Listen carefully. Da letter emerge from the edge, okay, from the edge of the tongue. One of the two sides or both of them at the same time. Okay, be careful because some people are mixing this letter with the dal. Sometimes they're making heavy dal that comes from here. They say ad. It quite similar sound, but it is incorrect. Okay. Some other people, like in India when I was there, so this letter is neither za nor the heavy dal. Okay, we don't have a heavy dal. Dal in Arabic language is a soft letter, is never heavy. Okay, so don't mix this letter with dal mufakhama or with za. This is neither za nor da or da or whatever the people are making. Okay, so how we make this sound, that is extremely important. Look at the picture with me. So the letter da comes from one of the two sides, okay, or both of them. If you can see the blue areas here, just beside the molars that we have, some blue areas there. This is where we make the pressure. Okay, and by the way, when we try to make the letter dad, the tip of the tongue or the front part of the tongue again touches, but doesn't make pressure. Okay, so the blue dots that you can see is where we make the pressure. Okay, the yellow ones where the touching is there, but this is not the place where we make the letter. I am gonna say the letter, so you please repeat after me, because as you know that at the end of Surah Al-Fatiha, we have this letter. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. 6 counts it should be. ولا we make the pressure here. Okay, ولا or to the both sides, it doesn't matter. So either you make a pressure at one of the two sides, either the left side or the right side, which one you feel comfortable with, or the both sides at the same time. So this is ad. The pressure is here, okay? The pressure is here, as you can see in the screen, the blue dots. Walad, الضالين. So walad, the pressure is here. Walad. In this area, I'm sorry for that. This area is only touching, but the pressure is not there. The pressure actually there, back there. Walad. Repeat with me. Walad. Okay. Lam, I think it is easy one. Again, it comes from the edge. Okay. If you can see the picture on the left side, this is the makhraj number 5 is there, which looks like 0. This is the makhraj of lam. Okay. Lam. You know this part, the edge of the part from here. I am sorry, I'm again opening my, getting my tongue out, but this is only to clarify to you. This part, all in the two sides, the touching when we make the letter lam. So we say two sides. This part, you know, the top part, the top front part of the edge. Okay, I'm sorry, the edge. You know, I said not the back side, the front side. Okay, this is the pronunciation of lam. So now repeat with after me the letter dad and the letter lam. Ad. Repeat after me. Ad. Okay, so these letters, the two of them, only the letters comes from the edge of the tongue. So now, so far, I am sorry, I only give you 2 letters of the tip of the tongue, but I will come to the rest. So just to avoid any confusion, first we talked about the deepest part, which is qaf and kaf, emerge from there. Then we talked about the jim, sheen, ya, that comes from the middle of the tongue, wasatul lisan. And then we're talking about the dad and the lam, the dad and lam, where they come from the edge of the tongue. Okay, now I am moving on to the tip of the tongue. I am sorry, we talked already 3 letters, but that is not all the letters that emerge from the tip of the tongue. Okay, so now we finished the back, the middle, and the edge. Now we are moving to the tip. Okay, the tip of the tongue, we have many letters that are emerging from there. The first one is N. Okay, so we are now moving to the tip of the tongue. The first one letter is Noon, N, N, N. If you look at the picture number 6, the one on the right side, this is how we make the letter Noon. So N, N, the tip of the tongue. Okay, and what lies opposite to it? The gums of the two top front teeth. Okay, so when we try to make the Noon sound, the tip of the tongue touches the gums, that back side of the front teeth. So N, N. Like for example in the Quran, النار يعرضون عليها. Okay, النار, الناس, النار. Okay, so we have the letter Noon that emerge from the tip of the tongue with what lies opposite of the gums that lies behind the two top front teeth. We are moving into the Ra. Be careful because there is something I'm gonna say about the Ra letter which is very important. Okay, the pronunciation of Ra is quite easy. The tip of the tongue with the gums of the two top front teeth after the makhraj of Noon. So when we make Noon, N, after that is the makhraj of Ra, Ar, N, Ar, N, Ar. Just a little bit back of the makhraj of the Noon, the makhraj of the Ra lies. Okay, so N, Ar. What I want to say to you, some people when they try to make the sound of Ra, they make like trilling of the tongue, which is considered as something wrong we do while pronouncing the letter Ra. So when you try to pronounce the letter Ra, automatically might be some trilling there. Okay, so Ar, Ar, some trilling of the tongue might be there. Okay, Ar, Ar, that is normal. There is no problem about that. But don't exaggerate while pronouncing the letter Ra. Don't say Ar, Ar, or so ever. So be careful with the letter, pronouncing the letter Ra. Some trilling might be there, okay, but don't exaggerate while pronouncing this letter, okay? So Ar, 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 okay? Or Ra, because you know later on, inshallah, you will know that we have Ra. Sometimes it is heavy, sometimes it is light. The Ra with Fatha like Ra, Rab, Rab, we pronounce it Ra, and the Ra, the light one with Kasra like wal Fajri, Rijalun, 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 Rijalun. Okay, we pronounce Ra when it has Fatha, when it has Kasra, and some more details, which is not our topic now. So when we pronounce Ra, that comes a little bit after the pronunciation of Noon, N, R, N, R. Don't try to make the trilling. If it came automatically, there is no problem about that, but don't exaggerate while making the letter of the Ra. I'm moving into Sad, Sin, Zay. We are not talking much about the Sad, the Sin, the Zay, okay? As you can see on the screen, Sad, Sin, Zay, the tip of the tongue and the plates of the two lower incisors. As, okay? The tip of the tongue move down to touch this lower two front incisors here, okay? The sound passes above the two front lower incisors between the upper and lower incisors. There's a little space left in between the tip of the tongue and the plates of the teeth when pronouncing these letters. Listen carefully. As, 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 okay? The tip of the tongue, okay, goes down. As, as, as. The second letter is S, S, S. Heavy, light. Sa is heavy, Sin is light. And then finally we have Az, 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 Az. The teeth involved in pronouncing the letter, but the pressure comes when the tongue, the tip of the tongue goes down to the lower front incisors, these two. So we're talking about us, we're talking about s, okay, and finally we're talking about as, okay. The letter za, some people, especially from Spain, I had some students from there, they have problem with zain. They pronounce it as seen, okay, instead of zain, they pronounce it as seen. Zay, they pronounce it as seen. So sad, repeat after me, that the one you see on the right side. Seen and zay, the one you see on the left side, I mean in the picture. So us, we're moving. S, A, S, and finally as. We have three letters which are extremely important. Some languages, they don't have the letter that force them to keep the tip of the tongue out of the mouth, okay? But in Arabic language, with these three letters, we call it al-huruf al-lathawiyya. Al-huruf al-lathawiyya. The letters, when we make it, okay, we have to, the tongue is already forced out to be pronounced, for these letters to be pronounced, okay? Listen carefully. What happens? I am touching with the incisors the top part of the tongue, okay? Okay? The top side of the part I am touching while pronouncing this letter. So for example, if you're saying az, this is incorrect. If you say as, this is totally different letters. Now I am talking about and finally so would you please repeat after me? Be careful when you learn Arabic language or when you learn to recite the Quran of these three letters. Of course, of all letters, but this one in specific. Why? Because you might not meet these letters in your language. So be careful when you're pronouncing this letter to keep your tongue out of your mouth. That might take time, but of course they say practice makes best or better. Okay, when you practice more, it becomes easier for you, and as much as you recite the Quran, it becomes easier for you. Just to keep practice, okay, and then everything will be easy. The dha, if you notice, is a heavy letter. The back side of the dha moving up to make this heavy sound again. So as you can see in the picture here, if you look at the picture on the right side, this is dha letter. While pronouncing the dha letter, okay, the back side of the tongue goes up, okay, to the roof, makes the letter sound so heavy, okay? So okay, the tip of the tongue goes out and the two incisors touching the top part of the tongue, but at the same time, you know, the back side of the tongue moving up to make that sound heavy. So I'm moving. The second one is okay. Thank you very much. Jazakumullahu khairan, and many happy returns of the month, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept that from us for the sake of him. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.